How's everybody out there doing? Make sure this microphone's on. Make sure it's correct. We got almost 50 people in the chat. That's good. Guys, we got a show for you tonight. We got some stuff planned out tonight. When we get the Patreons done here, David Vigil, Fat Squatch, James Cook, Sonia Girding, Gwen Sorensen, Dorothy Metcalf. These are all people who pledge $10 or more every month. Mimi Piccolelli, Polly G, Melissa Koyman, Pauline Rome, Joanne L. Hartnett, Mary Plyler, Stephen Hall, Miguel Guetta, Tommy Egan, Eric Garcia, Ryan, Tim Lewis, Super Hornet 1, Debbie Wolf, Extreme Reality Check, Histotech, James Estrada, Tim Renard, Ricardo Herrera, Titan, Dead Man Walking, Guy, Melissa Panay, Derek Tribble, Andrea Krask, Shannon, Dick Richards, Joyce Brunette, Barbara Blendy, Martin Hertel, Terry Fusler, Chris Clough, Curtis Turner, Philip Morn, Alexander Murphy, Matthew Durgo, and Ralph Ayub. The list has grown. We could always use more. We could always use more help at any, to pay for the show. Because like I said, tonight we have been so slammed with work that me and Anthony have to take off to do the show, and it is hard right now, folks. I got two guys out with COVID. One guy who is basically quitting. Hasn't really given me a reason why, I can imagine. And then I have another guy whose vehicle broke down. And then I got another guy who's in the hospital for diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes. Blood sugar got real bad. And he may, we just hope he does. We hope he pulls out. We're not going to say. He may be in big trouble. But we need to, he's an old friend of mine, Big Jim. He's a ring brother. We pray for you, Jim. And then got a bunch of listeners that are sick, not doing good, got COVID and the flu. I've got another guard who's got the flu, which has just knocked him completely on his butt, and he's struggling. At least he doesn't have fluvid. He's got just the flu. And then I got another person who anyways, you got 18 people and 6 of them are out, which leaves us barely able to cover our stuff. So me and Anthony have been working. I've had, I think, 3 days off in the last 8. It's been 8 days. I've had 3 days off, scattered in between there. And even on one of those days off, I had to work part of the day. So I guess I should say I've only had 2 days off. I was able to watch the Cowboys beat the Eagles at 2 a.m. because I didn't get home until then. So I guess that was my day off. Tonight, though, it was like I have to get in there. I got to do this show. I do have some guests tonight. I am going to be talking to some people. There's some incident that took place up there in Kentucky. We've been talking about it. Kentucky's a very weird place. We're going to get our friends Barton Nunley and Letitia Nunley on, and then we're going to talk with Ken Gerhard. We're going to call him up. Somebody says Wolf looks sleepy. Wolf woke up at 5:53 in the afternoon after going to bed at like 10:30 in the morning and thinking, I'm going to go back to sleep. And I looked up and I saw how dark it was already, and I was like, whoa. And I look at the clock, and I'm like, 5:53 p.m., and I jumped up. So, let's see, Brooks, Anunnaki, bro. Hello from Fort Worth. Hello, I love Fort Worth. Second favorite city behind San Antonio. So, I see D and James are in the chat. Let's get everybody going here, dude. I want to talk to you about a few things. Anthony, can you grab my glasses, please? Been some stuff going on here lately. I've been having to go and send friend requests to people. Thank you, Christine, for that $50 donation. Greatly appreciated and needed after Christmas, let me tell you. Been having to go, and so Facebook decided, with all their wisdom, that for whatever reason I was a threat, or I don't know what their thoughts are. I don't know what their thought processes are. Had never gotten a ban or had any kind of problems. Then in the last 2 months, it was like boom, 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 boom. And then they came in, they messed with our groups. They gave us 5 fact checker, and it was a guy that was Tamil, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's in southern India, and there's Tamilese that he was writing in. And apparently he's the fact checker. And he decided that we had 5 strikes on us because we had allowed people to post the video of the dog man that was supposedly killed in Mexico, which, who cares, dude? All right, I really don't give a crap whether it was real or not, whatever. Fan posted it, and they made on there, they said, hey, this is probably not real. It was just cool looking animatronics that they did or whatever. And apparently they went through and just slammed us for that and said that if we get any more, we could be shut down. So they're talking about shutting down a 7,300 member group for that, which, and then other little ticky-tack things like people post, we got trolls or spies in there, and they say, hey, this person said poo-poo caca head, so they run after them. And I know Ryan's on a ban too because he showed a picture of his food. He may have said the word darn. I don't know. He maybe said something like this food is damn good or something. I don't know what he said, but apparently it was enough to Facebook to go, oh, you're out here. And so I made a post about Georges St. Pierre, who was a UFC fighter and MMA guy, and a fat little troll who coaches here in Austin, who's weak as they come. I don't know who he thinks he's coaching, like I think his brother and his cousin thinks he's a coach. He really sucks. He's not good at what he does. He's not athletic at all. I'm just gonna say that, you couldn't beat me up on your best day. I've already whooped you, so I don't know what. What else is there? There's nothing to prove. But apparently that's not enough for this guy. So he gets on my Facebook and starts popping off, and I'm like, why are you even here, dude? Why are you stalking me? Obviously he's cyber stalking me. We had agreed to, you go in your corner, I go in mine. I train at Black Sheep, you train at Blindside. You don't come to my gym, I don't go to yours. We started coming to my gym on Sundays to spar. Did it while I had COVID, then kind of slowed it down whenever I didn't, because I was back in there. So the reason this is relevant is because I have a Facebook account that's tied to all these paranormal groups, right? So Christopher decided to get on there and begin to run his mouth. Like I said, I wouldn't give this guy a nickel to train anybody. He needs to go get more training, apparently, because he's not good at what he does. His professional fight record was like 2-15 or 16. I don't know, something. It was pretty pathetic, but he considers himself a pro fighter, which is kind of silly. Then he starts talking about my career, and I was like, I was smart enough to quit when I was 30 because I wanted to keep my brain. No offense to the other fighters that I know. I know a lot of good fighters. A lot of guys professional fighters who've been professional boxer coaches with my nephew. But it just wasn't for me. I was very good. I didn't lose much at all. I lost twice when I was younger, but I think it was judges. But that was points and crap, and whatever. As far as, as a career, it just wasn't for me. It's not something there wasn't no money. The real money wasn't there in the MMA back then. So I got out and pursued a career and did something with myself. This guy didn't. This guy went and had like 15 kids and did some subpar tattoos, and then decided, oh, I'm not good at this. He did a horrible one on Squid, and Squid chased him around for a year trying to beat him up. And so he moved. Then he comes back and pretends like he's our friend, and he's really not. And he gets into it with Loki first, and then he gets into it with me. Then he gets into it with my brother, and everybody just has a big problem with the guy. So we just kind of told him, you know what, go do what you're going to do. Gave him a chance to coach my nephews, which he did not do. He just didn't do it. He wouldn't show up. He was letting his brother and his cousin coach them in their blue belts in jiu-jitsu. I thought, this is ridiculous. This guy is an absolute fraud, which I should have already known. I gave him a chance because he was an old friend. And so anyway, he came on my Facebook, said some stuff. I said some stuff back, and I got banned for bullying. My big sin was that I said, I watched Scorpion turn your face into Burger King, which I did, which I guess is a fight that he won because he managed to pin him underneath a bush, and we had to kind of break it up. But I watched Scorpion literally destroy this dude's face. This guy has no hands. No hands. I will fight you anywhere. I will fight you on the moon. I would fight you in a bus. I don't care. I'll fight you because I know you can't beat me. You are one of those people who, because you train 3 or 4 times a week, you think that your superior training and all your try-hard efforts to get better, which is when you feel like it and you're not stoned, you think that makes you tough. It doesn't. And it doesn't make you a better fighter. You still suck. Yeah, you're absolutely not a good dude. It's no contest. When me and you throw down, if you ever get the balls to actually face me, it will be 5 seconds. It will just be me knocking you out. So sign the waiver so we can get it done, and then you can shut your mouth because you're going to have brain damage the rest of your life. Almost guarantee it. But you already have because you get hits in the head so many times. That's probably why you're doing what you're doing. And that's what my buddy was saying the other day. He was like, I don't think he even knows what he's doing. I mean, you trained with the same guys, with Rodney Solis trained you, and Chad and Loki, and Marshall, you all trained under the same guy. He was a dang good trainer, but you didn't listen. And he told you, wait a year before you go out and fight because he didn't want you ruining his name. Oh, yeah, this guy got beat up. Oh, yeah, I got Rodney trained him. I've known Rodney for years. He's a great trainer, but you didn't listen, and you went out and started trying to fight, and all you did was get beat up over and over again because you're that stupid and hard-headed. And you've always been that stupid and hard-headed. Now you've gone too far because you're coming to my Facebook and you're messing up stuff, and now I can't do my groups. So, folks, long story short, I had to make a new Facebook account. So if you get a friend request from me, it's just me standing in front of like I took a picture in the background. There's a bunch of bananas wallpaper in the back. It was a bathroom that I was in Juice Land because life is bananas right now. And the backdrop is a Broford bull with horns. So, anyways, just go and look. That's the my profile. Sorry that I had to do that. I've already got about 800-900 people, but I only had about 2,900 at any given time on my old Facebook account because I was constantly cleaning it out. You send a friend request, and you're like, "Are you a fan of PRT?" What? Or they don't answer, or they see it and they don't answer, then I just boot them. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for you. Get away, go. I don't know who you are. I don't care about your show. I don't care about what TV channel you're on for your friend collecting thing that you're doing. I don't care about any of your pod. I don't care about any of it. Okay. If you're not listening to the show, I don't care. Go away. If I don't know you in my everyday life, and even if I do, it's just, I don't have time for this. So, let me read some of these comments real quick, and then we're going to get started here. Got some pretty interesting stories this last week, and it has been absolute heck, because, we have just been going. Me and my wife left the house the other day about 3:30, and we didn't go home till 1 in the morning. It has been nuts. Jaron, good to see you. Vincent. James Fatke, Rethink Inc. I'll see all you guys here today. It's good to see everybody. It's good to be back in the saddle. This is our second live stream back. And let me clarify something else, too. This is not a devil's horn. People are thinking or asking that why I'm wearing the devil's horn, which is actually a Italian, like a good luck charm or whatever. This is a boar's tooth. Once again, boar's tusk. I'm sorry. Okay, it's from a boar kill. That's what that is. Got chastised because I was wearing a tiger claw. And I'm like, no, I don't wear tiger claws. I don't wear ivory. That's ridiculous. I would never do anything like that. It's just not. So. Lene Perkins, good to see you. Dorothy Metcalf. Curtis, nice to see you. Keith Van Elsler, yeah, good to see you. I see Ryan's in the house. So, what I wanted to talk about, I got a story that I'm going to be doing pretty soon. I'm doing a lot of research on it, and it's pretty neat. I actually got someone who claims to be part reptilian. They had a friend that listened to my show on Spotify, and they said, you got to check out this guy. He talks about reptilians. When they got in touch with me, I said, why don't you go and listen to my live streams? So he did. Came back to me and said, I am a part reptilian. And it's an interesting story. I'm not going to get all into it today, but I am going to get into it. And this guy is, by birth, he's half African-American. He's from Maryland and doesn't live there now, but he did. He was from there. And his mother and his aunt were abductees. It's really weird. He's got a cousin. He was born 2 days after him, and they look like identical twins. They have the same dad. I mean, it's very obvious. And they claim that their dad was a half reptilian. Didn't live here on Earth and run around and didn't work at the local grocery mart or whatever, didn't have anything, nothing like that. But his mother and his Aunt Marie were abductees. And that's how it happened. And I'll get into the whole story one day. It says, do you believe him? I don't know. I mean, I've had some really weird stuff happen in my life, and I've had a lot of weird people tell me some really weird things, and I've had some known people tell me some really weird things. So, I mean, look at what I do as a part-time job now, basically. You know, it's crazy. And speaking of Linda Godfrey, I actually communicated with her, a couple of days ago. Love Linda. She's a good person. Everybody, please pray for her. She's been very kind to me. I sent her a hoodie that was too big. I'm going to have to send her another one. Hopefully her husband can wear the other one. So last communication with her was on January 3rd. She is a great author. In case you people are uninitiated, you don't know who she is. She's a Dogman author. And now that I have some breathing room, I'm going to try to get my notes together. My brother's helping me do it. We're trying to get it all together so that we can start to move forward on the book. But it has been, if it's not one thing, it's another. And so now we're dealing with this thing on the land. And so, it was like starting to slow down. Now it's that. But it's always something. And it'll always be something. Things don't just stop. It just keeps going. And if you're ambitious enough, it never does. You just keep going. So many people just want life to just be, just like this lazy river ride. It's not. There's drops and there's hills and valleys and highs and lows. And so I definitely need to spend some time with some people getting some work done, and I will be doing that soon. I'm going to be recording with Vault. That's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. He will be coming up. It will be next week, Jody Cook Part 2. Then the week after, it's Paranormal Potluck. Hopefully, Vault and me will have ours done. He's got some stuff about violent Bigfoot encounters and Dogman, because him and Dark Waters have been working on the Dogman Camps project. Ashley says, yes, people underestimate what writing book takes. Yes, it's not an easy thing. And I got help, and I'm over here like, dude, you know, it's like when you get all flustered watching freaking Jeopardy. You're like, woo, dude. David Spade, he's like, pick cartoons, dude, pick cartoons. Because you start getting a little overwhelmed. You're like, dude, this is not what I thought, you know. I was on Vault's show, on the New Year's Eve show, in case you haven't seen it. I went on there. Chaos was on there. I like him. Bass. Truth's a good dude. Truth and me are talking about making some 3D prints, these Dogman and Bigfoot figures that are really cool. And I thought about that would be a very affordable way to get everybody a figure, because Charlie's are very expensive. I mean, they are expensive. He does great work, but they're very expensive. And I still owe you some money, Charlie. I haven't forgotten. I got to pay you. I told you first of the year, and it's just been hectic. And it's not about money. It's just been forgetting. Got a million things to do. I was like, dropped a bunch of those camouflage hats off for everybody. They like those camouflage hats, and I ordered a bunch of them, and I had to do all this rigmarole because they didn't have them at the lids, so I had to order them from the website and pay full price, and then take them to the lids and then get half off, and then get my stitching done, and then pay for it, and then get the refund on my card. And then I go today, and I kick something, I look down, and there's a bag full of hats that didn't get taken in. So there you go. I mean, it's, boy. I did get some nice Christmas gifts, so I got this. My wife gave me that. You can see it. It's a little horse. I know Melissa and Kevin Panay would like that. That's a pretty cool one. Justin, thank you for that donation. It fits on my pinky. And then I had another friend of mine who traded me. I had a ring. He's a really good guy. He's a jeweler. Jewel City. Shout out to Jewel City. And he traded me my nugget ring, which wasn't even as heavy and as nice as this one. He traded it to me. And then he gave my wife a ring for Christmas. He gave it to her. And then shout out to my jewelers. They're Vietnamese Christians. They're really good people. Peter and Lee over in QT. They're really the only jewelers that I deal with. But they did a lot of my custom stuff, and he capped this and made this, whatever. So Peter and Lee, shout out to you, QT, and Michelle that works for them. Very, very nice people. Amy, thank you for that donation. Justin Wood, thank you for that donation. God bless you. Another shout out to TFN Nutrition, Barton Nunley and Letitia, who are going to be on the show in a little while. They've been having some health problems. I got some supplements, shot them up there to them. They're getting better. Yvonne Graham. She's a former Olympic gold medalist. She runs Total Fitness Nutrition. She does a great job. Her sister and her brother-in-law are actors. Her brother-in-law is a Mohawk Indian who's had some Bigfoot activity. I need to talk to him, but he's so busy. He's always making movies. He was on Star Trek Generations. Good guy. Just haven't had a chance to we're both very busy people. But yeah, they do a great job. Also, I want to send a shout out to my cell phone repair guy, Phil Backlar. He's a Japanese guy. He does all my phone stuff. He's a freaking great guy. Super. Austin Cell Repair. And then our Ashford Spinners, great guy. Charlie, thank you for the action figure I gave to him for Christmas. He loves it. He put it up in his office, and he is a really, really good friend. And I wanted to give all these small businesses a shout out. And my friend over at Originals. Originals is, this guy gets like jewelry and gold and gold, what do you call it? Glass from all different places. He has 4 or 5 artists that send him stuff. One of them makes like steampunk stuff. It's really cool. It's called Originals, and it's right there in North Austin by the Arboretum. If you're ever in Austin, you want to check out something, go to Originals. Another cool place is Pinballs. If you want to go to Pinballs, I'm good friends with the owner there. I like to support small businesses. I have a lot of dealings with small businesses, and those are the people that are the backbone of our country. I own a small business. I mean, it's for all intents and purposes, it's small business. I mean, and so we try to support one another and help one another, and those are the people. If you're ever in Austin area, hit me up, and I'll tell you where to go and places to eat too. So, oh gosh, Madeline Chap, thank you. Don't forget. Now, here's what we're gonna do, folks. Before we make these phone calls, one last thing. All right, we're gonna do a contest. All right, we're gonna do a contest. Everybody loves contests, right? You win stuff, right? Go to the Paranormal Round Table group page. If you're not a member of the Paranormal Round Table group, okay, Anthony gets mad when I say page. It's not page, it's Paranormal Round Table group. Just look up Paranormal Round Table group. Okay, go to the group and join, okay? Because if you're not already a member there, go join. James Estrada, thank you for that. I appreciate that donation. Because we're going to do a Paranormal Roundtable merchandise contest. It can be anything. It could be you wearing your hat. You could be you wearing a Paranormal Roundtable hoodie. It could be you wearing a Paranormal Roundtable shirt. You could be male, female, whatever. It doesn't matter. Take a picture of you wearing your PRT gear, even if it's a neck gaiter, face gaiter, whatever we got. Okay. We're not going to go by the picture, how good you look, whatever. It is going to be just a random. We're going to pick a random, okay? The winner is going to get a PRT backpack. It's going to be cool. PRT backpack with an autographed book. It's going to be inside of it. All right? So that's what you win, okay, if you participate, if you choose to participate. So just go and you have a chance to win, and it'll be an autographed book from one of many authors. Like I said, it could be Lon Strickler, Linda Godfrey, David Weatherly, Chad Lewis. We got a bunch. Nick Redfern, La Blackburn, Ken Gerhard, D.A. Roberts, Kenny Irish, blah, blah, blah. There's too many. Paul Sinclair, whoever. The point is you're going to get a book in there autographed, and you will win the backpack. And and the other thing we're going to give you, one of the lamps, one of the PRT lamps that light up. Man, I gave 3 or 4 of those away for Christmas, just to people in my everyday life, and I gave several of them out as gifts. A lot of people enjoyed those. So just take a picture of your PRT, and then we'll probably do it again next week, okay? But we're going to do that for the giveaway for this coming week. So it's not just going to be a book. You're going to get a backpack, a PRT lamp that changes colors, and you're going to get a autograph book in the backpack. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to start making PRT coins where they have the logos on both sides, kind of like with the Bigfoot. Gave me the idea. I thought this is cool. I talked to my jeweler. He said he could do it. They can do just about anything. They're pretty amazing. So anyway, that's what's going on. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope everybody's New Year was great, was wonderful. Mine was cool. It was action-packed. It wasn't the best Christmas, but it wasn't the worst. But I did help more people this Christmas than I ever have, so I guess that makes it a good Christmas. It was just a little stressful. That's all. I mean, it's just a little stressful. Things got a little stressed. I got a little stressed, but it is what it is. Jonathan Driller, thank you for that donation. You're being very kind today, and that really helps because we're losing a lot of money here tonight. I already told Anthony that we're so short-handed. Anybody wants to move to Austin, get a job, man. So if you get a friend request from me from the new account, and once I'm off of that other ban on the other one or whatever, then that account will be up and active again too. But from now, that's what we're doing. We got both accounts. All right, guys, we're going to get into this. What happened? Okay. Was that Letitia Nunnelly had a sighting of something really bizarre. You taking off? Told you to order a pizza, man. I'm freaking wouldn't mind a slice. Really? Everything closed at 8 o'clock, huh? That's when it strikes. after 8 o'clock. So there's no pizzas to be delivered at this time?
Not from Pizza Hut. The alternative is Domino's, and I think I'd rather eat a turd.
That's not my... There's none in this area. There's got to be some.
There's a Pizza Hut in this area, but it's closed.
Well, I mean, there's so many damn good pizza places in Austin that you...
Dave's across the street. They're closed.
It's crazy. That's nuts. Well, if you go to TC, pick me up a bowl. If you go, I'll take a chicken. You know, I can't eat the beef. So, Amy, thank you for that donation. Anthony's going to go to Taco Cabana, hopefully, because then I can actually eat one of their bowls, which is a little more healthier. Dick Richards, always good to see you. Eric Ogle, good to see you guys. I know you guys are probably freaked out when I sent you those friend requests. You're like, who is this? Is this fake wolf? I'm going to go tell on you. I'm going to tell the real wolf, you know. Patsy Trigg. I don't know if I've refriended you or not, Patsy, but get on there and send me one. Peter Hasty. Shout out to Peter. Peter is sick with, he just said right here, hey, Josh, I'm still half dead with Rona here, so looking forward to some distractions. Yes, and you want to be distracted, believe me, when you're sick with Corona. It's not fun. Believe me. I wish I would have had a Josh Turner to watch babble and make a fool of himself whenever I was sick. But I kept busy with VC and Mr. Pyrus. They were pretty bad. So, anyways, let's see here. Nigel, good to see you. Cryptidville, Angeline. Must be Tuesday, huh? I don't think I've seen you before. Bernard Fox, what's up, brother? Wolf, oh, you make it to St. Louis area. Try, Emo's Pizza. If I go to St. Louis, I came within about 50 miles a couple years ago, and I was like, why don't we just go to St. Louis, take a picture of the arches, and leave? And then we were like, you know what? We just wanted to hurry up and get to Oklahoma so we could gamble. So we were like, we turned and went at Saline. I think it was Saline, Kansas. And we just took that right and went straight down into Oklahoma. But I really wanted to go and check it out, and then we decided not to. Been through there, but I haven't been there since I was a kid. So what we're going to do right now, get to my Facebook, and go to Messenger. So anybody who's got birthdays and I'm not able to say happy birthday to you, I'm really sorry. I apologize, but it's what it is. Lauren Coleman sent me a message earlier, which was really interesting. He said, the action figure is unbelievable, awesome, and much appreciated. I spent an hour setting it up in a touch-proof display, and I'm going to work on it some more when I have more time. Who should I think additionally? Charlie Perez. And I was like, okay. Yep. Let me just tell him yes. So I'm glad Lauren enjoyed it. His figure is now in the museum. And Charlie's working on the full set, which includes me. I only could guess why he would want me. I'm nobody. But he wants me on there too, which I'm honored. So let me call my friend here. I want to make sure I don't need these freaking dang headphones because I don't even know where they're at, folks. I would have to literally... Hey, do I need the headphones for this? Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make this call, and I think I can do two, right? Calls, because I got to call two people, and there's no equipment here at all.
Okay. If you're calling them on Facebook Messenger, you'll be able to do like a three-way call.
Yeah. All right, well, let me get started. I'll see you when you get back. Bye. Yeah, and we have to move all the equipment off of here. Usually I have everything at my fingertips, but because it rains and the roof could leak and cave in, and the landlord's here. Landlord is fighting with the guy that I'm actually renting this from, so it's ridiculous.
Hello.
Hey, Ken, what's going on, man?
Hey, brother. How you?
I'm good, man. How was your New Year?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty chill. Didn't do too much.
Yeah.
Just to console my cat while people blew shit up outside and drank a little bourbon. And that's about it. How about you?
Not much. I'm just worked and basically had to chase people around, tell them to stop blowing stuff up, and you know, because I was shorthanded. I've been shorthanded, and it's been horrible. Everybody's got the flu or corona. It's been really, really rough. Oh, you are on the air, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, cool. Did not know. Hey, we're doing I guess we're not doing video. Is this okay if we just talk on the phone?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna put Barton on, and we were gonna talk about Barton's wife's encounter, and you, I thought, would be the right person to come on to, and we had talked about it briefly about 2 weeks ago, to talk about what you think it could be. And so,
yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm going to get that going here. So let me get this phone call made. So I was telling everyone that I sent Lauren his figure, and he was thrilled. So, but he still wants all of us to be part of the museum or whatever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I saw your 10-year challenge. I saw that you were once Lyle Blackburn. I did not know that y'all were the same person.
It's very confusing. I'm trying to clear the air for those out there that they can't sort it out. But
did you really have people that did not know? What was it like?
I don't know if anyone nowadays, but I mean, in the past, I remember people commenting, and you know, when they figured it out, like, oh, there's two of you, you know. So I guess it's been confusing in the past, maybe not so much these days.
Well, I'll throw something out there. The other day, I went into there's this sub place that people like to go to. I can't eat; it's a little salty for me because I'm on a low sodium diet. But they make the amazing. It's called South Philly. And I went in there and ordered a Philly because I eat at the place next door, Cilantro, which is a lot healthier. And so I ordered a Philly for Anthony, and the guy used to work at the Museum of the Weird. So
cool.
Yeah. So I said, hey, I'm gonna leave some business cards here because he was real friendly. He's like, okay, cool. And he saw that, and he goes, oh, you're into the paranormal, you're into the weird stuff, you know? Yeah. And I told him, yes, so we do a lot of cryptids, we do, you know, a lot of, you know, alien abduction, ghosts, whatever. And he said, I used to work at the Museum of the Weird. And then I said, oh, really? I said, well, my friend Ken Gerhard has been through there, and Lyle, you know. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh, I know you're talking about the crypto guys. And I said, yeah. He goes, they kind of look alike, but they wear the hats.
See? He knew.
he knew, yeah. And so he was a really cool guy, but he goes, yeah, he was working there. He goes, you got to go check it out. I'm good friends with the owner. And it was during the episode where you guys were on was it History Channel, Discovery Channel, I don't know, and you went in there, and it was the Minnesota Iceman.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Travel Channel 2019.
Travel Channel, okay. You're on so many different networks, I can't keep track, but I know that he had said that he had talked to you and met you, and I said, yeah, that's a friend of mine. You know, he goes, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, but I thought that was funny because when me and Nellie left, she was like, she remembered you guys by the hats, the cowboy hats. So it's not a surprise that people would look at that 10-year challenge and not realize that you're joking. You know, I think that's actually you.
Yeah, I'm just having some fun with it. But we Lyle and I both enjoy that aspect of it. Just have fun with it, you know.
Well, you guys have distinctly different hats if people pay attention, and you don't really look alike in the face or anything else, but you're both built sort of similar, you know, and you both have that same kind of style, you know.
Well, I don't know. Lyle's got that Punisher body, and then I'm more like a Peter Parker. So, but yeah, my skull is bigger. I've got a bigger skull in my hat. It's a little heavier.
Oh,
I think my hat's a little smaller. It's gonna.
Okay, folks. Ken is making references to things that it's. He's okay. We didn't do that, but you know what? An intern, Redfern, actually called me, And he said, "Hey, Josh, you got a minute?" He's such a nice guy, But he was like, I'm 6'4", I'm 6'3", 6'4", I'm way taller than Ken and Lyle. And then he said, and he goes, and then the figures, they're the same height as me. So it was actually something that he was kind of concerned about. So, but the worst
I think
was
his is shorter. I
think so. And he was kind of aggravated.
Like
yeah. So he was kind of aggravated, but Weatherly got the worst end of the deal. When I sent David his figure, I was looking at the figures they sent him out, and Charlie does a great job.
Yeah,
but he did
no doubt.
Not a good job. There was one of them that I was looking at it, and I told Anthony, I said, I can't send this to David. He's a friend. I would look at that and go, like, what is that? So I hit up Charlie, and I told him, I said, Charlie, this figure, it literally looks like the dude, like the Cornelius dude from Planet of the Apes, but with David Weatherly's head on there. And he goes, oh, well, I can change it. I go, well, yeah, because that one doesn't look anything like David. So when I showed David the pictures, I was going to take that one out, but just kind of as a goof, I just let him pick. And then he immediately keyed in on that one and goes, what the heck is that? And I told him, I said, that's yours. That's what I'm going to send to you. And he goes, please don't. And so I had to get one of the other ones, and he goes, okay, that's fine. But then Charlie totally redeemed himself. He took a photo from one of the conferences where Weatherly was wearing like this kind of a top hat, and he looked kind of Dracula-ish, And so he remade that, and he did a really good job on that one. He sent that one out, and I was like, oh, wow. And then I was kind of concerned with Jody's. I thought Jody, would be like, look at this, weird looking. Whatever, but he was cool. His figure came out okay, and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness," because there were a couple of them that didn't pan out. But I mean, if you want, Ken, we can turn you into the Punisher if that'll make you feel better. We'll make you the Punisher.
No, I don't want to have to live up to that. I'm perfectly happy with Peter Parker.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
And a leather jacket.
I can have you going to the gym, All right, so let me call Barton up because Barton's figure came out like his was like, his is bad. Well, it was good.
Yeah.
All right, let me call this guy real quick. Well, you there, Ken? I think I lost Ken. Trying to get Barton on. I don't know what happened. Well, may have lost both of them. But we'll get it going here, folks. This is an interesting story, and I really want to get this out.
Hello.
Hey, Barton. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Barton. Let's see here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Let me call Ken back because I think we lost Ken. There's a trick to doing this too. There's a way you got to do it. You can't just hang on. All right, Ken, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, see, now I lost Barton. See, I'm trying to figure out why this thing is not letting me. Are you there, Barton?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. I got you. I was sitting there going like, how come I can't get both of you on there? Shouldn't be that hard. But so what me and Barton had been talking about, Ken, was a encounter an encounter that Letitia had. Is Letitia there with you, Barton?
Yeah, she's right here beside me.
Okay. Now, Letitia,
Hi,
do you want to? How are you doing? Are you going to be able to talk? Because I know you're not feeling too good.
I'm not feeling too good. I'd rather Bart talk for me if it's okay with you.
No, it's
And I
not.
can
You got to
answer some
speak.
questions.
If not, I'm going to be angry.
Okay, well, if you want to hear me coughing, then okay.
I'm messing with you,
Josh,
Letitia.
we want to thank all your listeners. We want to thank all your listeners firstly, who've been sending up prayers and well wishes for our recovery. So, God bless you guys. They're really appreciated. Thanks
Absolutely.
so much for that.
Thank you, and everyone. Thank you for keeping everyone in your prayers for this time. We have several listeners who actually have COVID. Darren Castle, the supporter of the show, was on a ventilator, not doing good, and we have a few others that just not doing good. Even with the flu, I mean, I just had someone's dad pass away from the flu. The flu literally.
Yeah, so I think that's what we have. And,
yeah, you guys
my
tested
daughter had
negative for COVID, so it's probably the flu.
Right, three times now. So my daughter had COVID, and it was nothing like this. This is. I'd rather have COVID. I've never been sick for 4 weeks in my life.
Yeah, you were sounding really bad. I was worried
about
about you, Barton. I was really worried about you.
Well, I appreciate that. I think I'm on the upswing now, though. Thanks to those supplements you sent, they're helping out.
Absolutely.
Both of us.
Thank you so much.
Well, what happened? See, Ken, what happened was when I heard that Barton was like really ill and possibly could die, I know it was a little crass, but the first thing I did was say, hey, who's getting your comic book collection? I'm just asking. I was just asking. I was not trying to push for anything. I was just saying.
Yeah, they're going to bury me with that, Josh, in a U-Haul.
Like one of those ancient
trailer.
kings. They dig you up and all your graded comic books.
That's right.
That's how I want them to bury me with all my swords and my knives. You know, I don't know why I would need them, but yeah, let's just do that. And then all my pets, put them on there too. You know, I'm just kidding, folks. You would never do something like that. That's horrible that they even did stuff like that. But
hello, everyone in chat that's saying hello to my wife and I. Hello, everybody, and hope you guys are having a great New Year so far.
Yeah, everybody.
Hopefully it'll pick up for us.
Been very busy for me, but guys, here's the thing. And somebody just said it would be nice to have a figurine of Simon the Bull. Actually, Simon the Bull was made. Fred Martin. Simon the Bull has actually been made. When Anthony returns, I will actually show you what Charlie made of Simon. It's actually a very cool figure. Duplicating it, though, may be a little difficult. It was not cheap to find something that size and make it the way he did it. But he did it. He actually pulled it off. Now, we do have 2 stripes. Sold one to James Estrada, and then we have 2 left. We sold the first one for $500. We have 2 left. I'm going to sell one of the other stripes. I'm going to keep the last one for myself. And me and Charlie actually both signed it as per James, your request. So, anyways, I actually tracked down another one of your books too, Barton, while I got you on the phone here. I did. John Bankhead from Temple, Texas, actually, or Gatesville, Texas, actually has a copy. He said he has a mint edition copy of your first edition. And I've been having a ton of people ask about that. And the Mysterious Kentucky, the first edition of Barton's book, is still for sale. I got a $700 offer, but it's going for $810 on Amazon. I would consider that if it doesn't go through on I don't get a second offer, then I will go ahead and sell that for $700. So that's good news, Barton. Your book's about to sell for $700.
Wow, it's crazy.
That's
it's
amazing.
Hard to believe anyone would pay that much money for something that I've written.
Well,
It's just blowing my
and
mind.
it's crazy, like the one that Ken had. You know, I mean, it was just crazy. You know, and then we all signed it, and Nancy couldn't be more thrilled. She was over the moon, and she was also glad that the money went to help Ken look for the Thunderbird.
Right?
She's a
Did
big
you find
fan
the
of
Thunderbird
Ken's,
with that
too.
money, Ken?
Did you find
awesome. No, we didn't find any Thunderbirds, but visited at least 3 to 4 pretty famous locations where there were notable sightings, and so that was kind of cool. So,
well, until you find it, you're cut off. So, anyways, that's what's happening with Ken. No more for you. Let us know though when you do find something. I'm just kidding, Ken. What you do, though, to her is very important. Because, like me, I don't have time to do that. I mean, I do not, and I wish I could. Actually, I'm lying. I'm glad I don't have time to do that because I would not want to be in contact with any of these creatures. But what you guys do is very important. What I would like to see, though, is you, Ken, and maybe Lyle go up there, and you and y'all two and Barton go out into the LBL. And search up there, man. There is a ton of information that comes out of that area all the time. I mean, it's like a gold mine of Bigfoot. Just tons of Bigfoot stuff out there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
As I've
that would
said,
be
I'm
epic.
definitely down for that. That sounds great.
I plan to go out there in the
Let's check it
spring
out.
when it warms up, and I will tell you this though: I am not going to go tromping around in those woods because I'm scared of Bigfoot or Dogman or anything like that. Okay, people don't get all, but I don't want Lyme disease. I'm not going to lie to you; it's a very real thing, and there's a lot of ticks out there. And I know that Elijah and Gabrielle from the Cryptid Studies Institute go out there pretty regularly, and they have Lyme disease. And I believe, Barton, did you not? Don't you have it too from the ticks?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ticks at LBL, believe me.
Mm-hmm. So
You
you
can
got to
ask my
be.
wife about that.
Mm-hmm. So going deep into the bush, now if you want to go off of the trail, kind of like what Nick Valente and D.A. Roberts did, I'd do that. But I don't want to do going up into those bushes, man, or whatever. But from what I hear, there's so much activity up there. I mean, there's a very real possibility of seeing something out there. A lot of people give stories from that area. But so speaking of that area, Letitia has seen something after the tornadoes. Now, do you want to get into that, Barton, and explain all that?
Sure. It was 1 month ago. It was right before we started getting sick. I just after dark, December 11th, Saturday night, I'd sent her down through Spotsville to a little place in Beals to get a pizza. They have real good pizza there for a little country store, and she was coming back. And she took a ride onto Highway 1078, which leads to the road that leads to our house, and something ran in front of her car. And she didn't see it really good, but I'll let her describe what it looked like to you guys.
All I saw was something that I thought looked like a hyena, a very large hyena, like the size of a bear hyena. It had spots, not polka dotted spots, but it was spotted and real fuzzy looking. I never seen the head. I never seen the tail. But I drive a Hyundai Elantra, and it sits about 3.5 feet. The front of it does, tall, and about 5 feet wide. And the headlights were about 4 foot wide. And we went out and measured, and whatever I saw was as tall as my car, probably about 3 inches taller than the hood of my car, and as wide as my headlights. I didn't see it look lower in the back or anything. Like I said, I did not see the tail. I did not see the head. I just seen the spots and immediately thought it was a giant hyena. I was on the phone with my son when it happened, and I told him, I said, I got to go. I just about hit something, and I think it was a giant wolf, a giant werewolf is what he said I said, but I don't really remember. I was so just confused. My mind couldn't wrap around what I had just witnessed. And there was a gentleman in front of me who had turned left off of the highway going the same direction, and I'm not sure, but I think he's seen it because coming off of the 60, because he quickly pulled over and turned around and put his headlights on the yard that we think it ran into. I did the same thing and put my headlights on the yard, and we never seen anything. It was just gone.
How old was that guy? How old was
I don't remember the guy.
the older guy or younger?
He was an older gentleman in a white truck. We've been trying to find him ever since. We've posted on our Facebook and just trying to find the guy, get him to come out and talk to me. I was so out of it, not believing what I just seen, that I didn't get his name. I can't remember if he left before I did, or I just don't remember. It was so scary, and I just wanted to get home. That's all I wanted to do.
What was that?
He did ask me, he said, what in the heck was that? And I was like, I don't know. What was that? So no, I don't know. I just know it looked like a giant hyena. It was not polka dotted, like some people keep saying. Was it polka
Spotted.
dotted, like spots? It was spotted, and it had, it could have had some lines to it, and some dots or spots. That's all I seen. No tail, no head. It was huge. I mean, huge.
Oh, wow. And so, Ken, what your initial thoughts, because we did the show together, me, you, and Ryan, about the prehistoric animals and, do they still exist or do they not exist? One of the things I wanted your opinion on, because we had talked about this after it happened. We had ended up talking about something else, and then we touched on this. But I want to know your opinion on this. What do you think? Like, if it was something like a throwback, and now it happened after the tornado, which I got into on my show about my friend Starscream. That's his nickname. Seeing something.
Just to clarify something, Josh. Yeah, just to clarify something you said back then. So my town didn't get destroyed by the tornadoes. That was a little further south from us. We had several tornado warnings, but no touchdowns or injuries here in Henderson County. So I don't want people thinking that, everyone got destroyed except for me. That's not the case. That was a little bit further south. The major damage was.
Okay. So if something happens like an earthquake, okay, like a person in California told me during the earthquakes in San Francisco that they saw something really weird, but that's for another show. But it was during the World Series when the Giants and the A's were playing, and it's, of course, that San Francisco and Oakland Bay area, they had a major earthquake, okay, back in the 80s. And this woman claims, well, there were a few people that claimed that in that little particular area, and she actually had me talk to a couple of them, okay. They're elderly people now, but they told me their story of what they saw. And it didn't surprise me that something happened after the earthquake, just as when the hurricanes hit here in Texas, down in Corpus, Galveston, there were sightings of weird things coming up out of the ocean. My friends, two different friends of mine, actually saw something coming out of the ocean, which was bizarre, and I talked about that. Now, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, you name it, earthquakes. Those are catalysts. It seems like. Now we get weird stories when Mount St. Helens erupted. People were claiming that they were seeing Bigfoot coming down off the mountain. I mean, a bunch of stories came out of there. I can't verify, these stories. I just know that I heard them secondhand. But is it possible that something that would be normally not seen, maybe it got kind of, chased out of there by those hurricanes that did all that, the tornadoes that did the damage and ended up in your area? I think it's possible. And I still hold fast to the theory that I think there's a lot of Bigfoot activity over there that happens because of the cave systems. I believe that's where a lot of that stuff's happening. They're in those caves. I really believe that. But this creature, Ken, you kind of schooled me on something whenever we were talking on that show, on that particular episode. You've been on the show several times, but on that episode, you told me and Ryan that there was a canine that looked like a hyena, but it wasn't a hyena. It was actually a canid. Now, hyenas are actually the largest member of the weasel family, which sounds really weird, but it is the truth. That's what they are. They're not felines, and they're not dogs. I mean, they're probably more kin to my ferrets than they are my cats or dogs. Is that true?
Well, they're feliforms, so they are closer to cats. Mm-hmm. But that's they are in a distinct family, and but yeah. First of all, I want to thank Letitia for sharing. I appreciate you. Sorry you're not feeling well, and definitely keeping you and Bart in my thoughts. So, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different things we could look at here in terms of, first of all, to your point, Josh, yes, obviously lots of animals get displaced when there's a disaster. Things move around. Their habitat is, being destroyed. And so that does I think, create opportunities for people to see things that they might not normally see because they're displaced and moving around. So the size is impressive, obviously. I did have one question, which is, as far as the spots go, how large are we talking about here? I mean, she said not polka dots, but spots, but how big are the spots, or do they have a color, or, were they... That's a very curious description.
I tell you what, it almost seemed like some kind of camouflage almost, but they were, some of them were circles, like light dots. Some of them were just different, shapes, but still spotted. And then it seemed like I remember some lines too, also through the fur, but it was so quick. I can't be for sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's helpful. Well, obviously, we don't know what any fossil, if we're talking about prehistoric canids or carnivores, and there was a whole range across North America, Josh, as you know. There were hyenas in North America up until the end of the Pleistocene. There were kind of like dog carnivore type things in North America, like Borophagus and the Amphicyonids, which all lived during the Miocene, tens of millions of years ago. So there have been things in North America that looked like hyenas and that were pretty big. We don't know if they had spots or not, obviously, because we don't, all we have is bones. We don't have bones. We don't have any skins or hides that have lasted millions of years. That's unfortunately not. Spotted, typically in the animal kingdom, spots, particularly in terms of predators and carnivores, is an adaptation for warmer habitats for the jungle.
Yeah.
If you think about all the animals that have spots like leopards, jaguars, cheetahs, and even spotted hyenas, which are native to Africa, they all live in pretty hot climates. So it would be unexpected to have an animal with that adaptation in a place like Kentucky, I think. I'm just speculating. But yeah, there have been things. And of course, we have cryptid traditions in North America too, modern accounts and legends of things like the Ozark Howler and the Shunkawarakan up in the Great Plains, which people have described as looking like exactly what Letitia described, like a really large animal with a hyena kind of form. I know that there have been a lot of accounts in Arkansas and the Ozarks. There's a cryptid investigator here in Texas named Michael Mays, who's investigated a lot of those types of reports as well. So they seem to range across North America. They're not as common as other cryptids, obviously. You don't hear about them as much as like Bigfoot, Dogman, etc. But yeah, who knows? I mean, it could be something just kind of clinging on in the remote wilderness areas of North America in very small numbers. And I always have to consider the possibility of an exotic. I mean, it does happen. People do keep hyenas. I had investigated down here near San Antonio, west of San Antonio, Josh, and you're familiar with Helotus.
Oh, yeah.
But years ago, there was a guy that got in touch with me and said, man, I know I've seen a hyena running around twice on this remote mountain road near just outside of Helotus. I swear I said, no, you saw a javelina or something else. He's like, no, man, this was a hyena. And I did a little investigation, and lo and behold, it turned out there was a guy out there that had hyenas on his ranch, and I guess one of them had gotten out and was just like running around loose for a little while until they recaptured it. So I was like, I mean, it's rare, but that does happen too. Now the size though is the only kind of challenge you would have to what Letitia's describing is much larger than any currently known species of hyena. I mean, even the largest ones in Africa, the spotted hyenas, I mean, they're big, but not certainly not to that size. So that is intriguing.
One of the things I was going to ask Barton about, now I know Ken and me are probably, we live here in Texas, and Ken doesn't live at 90 miles from me, but it's not, I mean, there's a lot of exotic animals that are allowed to be here in Texas. Like, you can have exotic animals. I mean, people have them. Oklahoma, Texas. In fact, that the whole Tiger King thing, they had all kinds of stuff, and that's just right up there in Oklahoma. But here in Texas, there are a lot of people who have exotic animals. Now, I don't know what the laws are. Do you, by any chance, Barton, know what the rules or laws are for having exotic animals in Kentucky?
Yeah, you're not supposed to have them unless you have a license. So in my whole life, I've met maybe 2 people that kept exotic animals. And, that was years ago. So I know of no one that has any right now, but people don't always obey the law here in Kentucky, Josh.
It's pretty much everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah. So who knows what they, could manage to purchase and take home with them. There's just no telling. But I have no clue what it was Letitia saw. All the things that I've seen and experienced here in Kentucky, I've never seen anything like that. And I was starting to feel bad right when all this was happening. But I did get in the car and retrace her journey from the store back up to the house, and I didn't see anything at all. So whatever it was is long gone, and I hope it stays gone.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Just want to add one thing to that, which is hypothetically, if it was an escaped exotic animal, the fact that there was just a tornado that ripped through there and, increases the chances that, fences got torn down or enclosures got damaged and so forth. So, that's something else worth considering.
What about this? I mean, and we actually spoke about this, Barton, and me and you too, Ken, actually separately. What if it is something that isn't physical? What if it was a metaphysical being? I'm not saying that that's what it was, but I mean, me and David Weatherly talked about this, and it was like there was an encounter that me and him talked about in Nevada, that someone saw a saber-toothed cat. Now they were outside a prim, I believe, and they got out to do number one. This thing came at him, and Weatherly has fielded reports, and so have I, of prehistoric animals that kind of fade away or kind of disappear, which is shocking when you first hear about it. I'm glad it's never happened to me, and I've never seen anything prehistoric like that. But it would probably scare the out of me, no pun intended. But I mean, it would, the guy thought he was about to be eaten, and he covered himself up, and then it just kind of was like whoosh, it was gone. I did get a story near the Devil's Backbone not too long ago of someone seeing one down in a valley, and it's actually called the Haunted Valley, and this thing was walking, and he had binoculars, and he looked, and he's like, dude, he was like, that looks like a Smilodon. It had the lower back legs, the higher upper of the body's the higher, and it had protruding fangs. And he said the fangs weren't coming down past the jaw, but you could see that they were big. And I am of the belief that a lot of these creatures, like the way that it works, adaptation, evolution, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I believe that the world is a lot older than everybody says it is. But I do think that that there are pockets of animals that can live completely separate from one another and still come out looking the same. I believe that we recently found out that the dire wolf was not a wolf. It was, in fact, it was a fox. It wasn't even a dog. It was like a fox, which we know foxes deviated from dogs and wolves and became their own lineage a long time ago. And for them to have grown into the size and shape of a wolf, but not technically be the same, have the same DNA, whatever, they're a completely different species. They lived alongside each other, just as hyenas in North America lived alongside wolves and their ancestors and dire wolves, and they all lived side by side, which is a horrifying thought to think about. If you lived, it would be a terrifying. Pleistocene era would have been awful. But, I believe that people see these like these you were talking about from the Miocene era, which is before the Pleistocene. And we had talked about the amphisilodon. I'm trying to say the word.
Amphicyanid.
Amphicyanid, yeah, okay. So that particular creature, or the bear dog, as it's called, that thing was a horrific-looking animal that people still to this day, they kind of see. Now, I know, Ken, when you were on Mysteries, what was it, in Alaska? Yes, Missing in Alaska. You actually talked about this devil wolf, this giant-looking creature that was out there running around. And
the Amarok.
The Amarok, yes. And so the first thought you have is like, what if that is still around? But it's so long ago. But if it became this creature, like it adapted and became something else, and then adapted again and became something else, that's kind of what happens. Or it fades out into, oblivion. Like the Allotherius. It was like what, in between reptile, mammal-looking creature that no longer that petered out. Its existence petered out. That happens all the time. But these creatures that I think what Letitia saw, you could say, hey, this is something metaphysical that came. I'd still believe that these things come from inner Earth. I don't care what anybody says. That's my belief. But I still think that maybe this thing could have been blown out there because of the tornadoes. But if it was a flesh and blood creature, it could be of a remnant population of something that still exists, which is a terrifying thought of a hyena-type creature the size of a small bear running around loose. But it's not unheard of. And I feel that many reports, particularly out in West Texas in the Permian Basin, of these things roaming around out there. From there all the way to Arizona, you get reports typically along the southwest corridor. That's where they're at. They're not a lot of them, but you do get reports of them. I got one near San Angelo, and you got to wonder what they are. And I thank God Letitia didn't get out. She didn't, because if it was Barton, or even Ken or Lyle or one of you guys, you probably would have got out and tried to see what the heck it was, because I hope one day that doesn't happen and we don't hear from y'all again. But I think you guys would have probably gotten out and tried to get a better look. But thank God you didn't try to do that.
Only if I had Nightmare with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll get out with some heavy firepower, but not gonna get out on my own and just go, hey, what's that? Let's go look. But I think that if I had to put a guess on there and say what I think it was, I honestly think it's something that comes from the inner Earth. I really believe that there are those caves. There's no telling what's in there. And I think that it just got blown out. That's what I think.
You could be right, Josh. I've thought that for a long time, that a lot of these cryptid creatures originate from the Mammoth Cave system there in South Central Kentucky. So, no telling what's down there.
Yeah, and Ken, I appreciate you coming on, man, and talking. And if you have any other thoughts before you bounce, just throw it out there.
No, it's an intriguing. I actually I kind of enjoy these kinds of accounts more than like Bigfoot and Thunderbirds and other things, just because I've done that to death. And it's nice to have kind of a fresh topic. Like, oh wow, this is kind of unique. What could we be dealing with here? Obviously, very credible witness. That habitat is obviously, could support all kinds of things. I've been to Kentucky. I've been in the field there, and it's a pretty amazing in terms of the wilderness areas and stuff. So, all good theories. It's hard to choose either one of them, Josh. It could be, like you said, something metaphysical. It could be an escaped exotic. It could be some prehistoric species that's just kind of clinging on in the wilderness out there. None of those are totally impossible, but I unfortunately I don't think I can favor one of those theories over the other. They're all kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting encounter indeed. And so, Ken, I'm going to jump off with you. Barton, can you stay on for a minute, or?
Sure, man. I can hang on for a while longer.
Okay, and then I'll let you go.
Ready to go to bed, though.
Yeah, I figured you would. Oh, so let me release Ken real quick here. I'll let you go, Ken.
Okay. Thanks for having me on, Josh. Feel better, Barton and Letitia, and everyone out there.
Yeah, have a good night, Ken. Pleasure talking to you, buddy.
You too, brother.
Good night, Ken.
Good talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
All right, good night.
All right. All righty. Bye-bye.
So, Barton, one of the things I wanted to hit you up on before I let you go is you had kind of changing gears here. Now, Letitia, one of the things that happened to Letitia, I want to get on her on the show whenever you're feeling better, Letitia, but you and Nellie both had something in common. And Nellie has not, we've recorded it, but we have not had her actually come out and say it. But y'all have had a very similar encounter of a cryptid. And I want you guys, but I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to let it, and you guys can come out and you can talk about it. But Barton, you have a friend, you said, that had multiple Bigfoot encounters in that Kentucky area, right?
Right. Well, it's Ohio County, which is 2 or 3 counties over from me. But yeah, he had a river camp there, and he still does. But we don't go there anymore, unfortunately. But it's right there on the Green River, and there was a big ridge behind it. We called it a mountain, and it had old Cherokee graves. It was a burial ground, and rock shelters, and all kinds of woods and stuff, and good hunting ground. And his name's Terry Littleton. He's actually my best friend, and there's a lot of weird stuff that happened there. And when I first met Terry, we hit it off so well that Letitia and I went down there and stayed every weekend for like the next 3 years, looking for these things that was on Bigfoot Mountain. Of course, I put trail cams everywhere, all over the mountain, and all the rock shelters and the caves and the graves, and I never did get anything paranormal. But it was a really interesting experience, and that's how I actually met Terry, is because of something that happened to him, and he wrote a report and sent it into the Kentucky Bigfoot website. And so me and the guy that runs the website went out there to interview him, and we hit it off so well that we just became friends and stayed friends ever since. And he's got a lot of good stories. You should have me come on your show sometime, tell you guys all about it.
Yeah, I definitely would. I'd be interested in that, and I would like to have you and Letitia come back on whenever Nellie and Letitia are both 100% and able to talk about their Bigfoot encounters. That would be very
Sure, man.
interesting.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Josh, and
yeah,
speak to the PRT family, all the guys in the chat. It's such a nice group of people, and I really appreciate all the prayers and well wishes that everyone's sending our way.
Mm-hmm. And since we had Ken and Barton on this particular episode, on the giveaway we're going to do, it's going to be one of you guys. We'll give away one of their books. Won't be one of Barton's $1,000 books that he's got, but it'll be a book autographed by either Ken or Barton. In fact, you know what? I'll throw one of each in.
I believe you have those now, Josh.
I do. I have 2 of them anyway. But it looks like the one will be sold for about $700, and I will be giving you your cut, which is $10. So
you don't owe me anything, man.
I'm messing with you, man.
Those were gifts. You don't owe me a dime.
Oh, come on! I'm not going to do that to you. I couldn't do that. So anyway, what we'll do is I'll throw a Ken Gerhard and a Barton Nunley book into the backpack along with the lamp. That's an amazing package right there, dude. That's some PRT swag and a half. So if you guys take a picture, go to the Paranormal Round Table group on Facebook, and show a picture of you wearing your PRT swag. Now, I know you got it because we gave away 60-plus shirts at Christmas, okay? It was about 2 weeks before Christmas, and we shipped off about 60-plus. Speaking of which, Barton, did you get a chance to look at that calendar?
It's on our wall right now.
It's hanging on a wall right now.
Did you guys read the different?
No, I haven't read it. Honestly, Josh, I have not read it.
Dude, because it looks like it's a motivational. It's not. Go read it.
Really?
Yeah, because Lyle had actually sent me a message and just was like laughing about it because at first I don't think anybody really knew what it was, and everybody was just like, "Oh, it's just a calendar." Well, go back and read the different things on there. It is pretty funny, man. I thought
cool.
for sure
We'll
you would get
definitely
a kick out of it. I know Linda would. So I sent her one too, and I sent one to Ken, Lyle, David, everybody, my colleagues, Jason Bland, everybody. But I'm gonna let you run, Barton, because I know you have to get up at the crack of dawn. Actually, before that, you have to get up early.
Yeah, way before that.
Yeah.
I wish I could sleep in sometime, just one day, Josh, until dawn.
I did it. I'm sorry to tell you, I did it. I slept in today. Folks, that is the first day I've slept in. I'm not joking, since mid-December. I slept in today, and like I said, I woke up and I thought, oh, I'm going to go back to sleep. And I looked at the clock, and I thought it was in the morning, and it was already in the afternoon. I thought, oh, no, I got to get up and do the live stream. So, I contacted you and Ken and was like, okay, let's do this. I liked that we had Ken on and gave his perspective on there, and
Right.
And
Ken's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great colleague of ours, a great friend. Folks, I need you guys to bombard Barton push him to finish writing his book about the Spotsville Monster, because Barton is procrastinating and he needs to be. Barton is an author, folks. He is a gem. Barton is a gem. Okay, I'm telling you, folks, he's a national treasure.
You. I appreciate that, man.
You're a national treasure, and you need to be writing. That's what you need to be doing. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but
you may be the greatest house painter in the world, and I could be the greatest talker in the world. It doesn't matter. There's certain things people are naturally good at, and you are naturally good at writing.
I am the greatest house painter in the world, just so you know.
There you go. But you know what? It doesn't matter what you're really born to do. You have to do.
Right. I mean, well, I'm definitely going to get back at it soon, and as soon as I get over this fugue that I'm in, and all the coughing. The coughing's pretty much going away on my side. Letitia's still coughing pretty bad, but I think we're on the upswing, and I'm going to get it done this year for sure. So,
please do.
We have lots of people that want me to do that, and they want me to do a part 3 of Mysterious Kentucky, and so I've got to get really busy and start writing again instead of just working my life away. I come home from work, I work 8 or 10 hours a day, and I'm so exhausted. I eat my supper and I sit down in the chair for a minute, and the next thing you know, I've dozed off for an hour, and then I have to get up and take a shower and go to bed. So, but anyway, I'm hoping that'll slow down soon and let me get back to my writing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I'm always just busy on the go.
It really sucks having to chase. You spend your whole life chasing the dollar, right?
That's right.
And it's the sad thing is if you're not doing what you love to do, then it's all a waste. So
I know,
if you're not working at something you actually love to do, it's really a waste of time.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine I had a conversation with the other day, and he's miserable. I mean, he's good at what he's doing, but he's not happy. And I asked him, I said, what would make you happy? Like, what was it that you really enjoyed doing? And he goes, well, I used to like to rob dice games on the east side. I'm like, that's not what I meant. And he goes, well, you asked.
I would love to be able to make a living writing and doing these paranormal investigations, but there's no money in it. And people, someone on the chat, the Cryptid Truther earlier, called me a sellout. I wish he'd explain what he meant by that, because whatever I've sold, I sold it way too cheap.
That's right.
Because I didn't get any money from it. So,
and sadly enough, I know your situation, and I know Redfern's situation. I know Weatherly. I know Linda Godfrey. All of you guys, Lyle and Ken. Everybody, nobody knows what you guys go through and how hard it is. And we've had conversations, together, and making money you're not going to make a lot of money doing this. It has to be something that you're passionate about, and you're willing to do it without trying to make a bunch of money at it. And I had to take a couple weeks off from the show and focus on my business, because I've just been slammed with work, and then when I started noticing, I saw like a downtick in on the show, I was like, well, I got to get back on it because I can't, this is a work in progress. And I've told a lot of people, you can make money at this, but it's darn hard. And this isn't my livelihood. If I could do this for a living, I would. If I got donations just to come on here and talk, enough to make a living, I would be on here every day because I have enough material from now until the end of time. Because every day more reports pour in, and I got friends like you and Nick Valente and Ken and so we share stories and information, and it gets put out there. And I got a lot of great listeners, and when they hear a story, they run and they tell me, hey, I got a guy or a girl that's got a story, check it out. And then I just keep getting more and more stories. I got to stack them that high. I could just sit here all day long and tell story after story after story. But unfortunately, there's the money's not there. You can't do it. You have to depend on people to whatever. But we need to make a conference. We keep talking about this. Spring, I've already committed to, oh my gosh, now I'm embarrassed. I can't even tell you because I had to make that second Facebook account. So it's on my other Facebook account. But anyways, I've committed to doing a conference in, oh God, I think it's in March. So I will be going closer to you in March. I believe I want to say Missouri, but I'm not 100% if that's correct. But anyway, I will be closer to you. So what I was thinking was, I was telling Nelly, I was like, when I'm there, when I'm done with that, I'm going to shoot up there and visit you.
Yeah, that'd be great. So you're actually going to speak at a conference? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I've agreed. It's the first time I've agreed. I've been asked 6 times. 6 times I've been asked to go to a conference. These people all thought I was the country music singer, Josh Turner, so I declined. But this time I've actually been asked to go to talk about Cryptid. I'm just kidding, folks. I've been asked a few times.
I like your hit. You have some good hits.
Yeah, I was like talking about that long train. Look, I am not a person that accepts many offers to talk on other shows. I'm not a person who takes it lightly. I think really hard. I jumped on Vault's channel on New Year's Eve because I wasn't doing anything anyways, and I had a few drinks, some Garrison Brothers, and so I was like, you know what, I'll get on there, we'll talk. And so we ended up for 2 or 3 hours on there talking on Vault's channel. He's from Mississippi, and he's got some pretty amazing stuff. So, I did his show kind of impromptu, just went on there and did it. But that's very rare that I do that. I did do 6 or 7 shows in October. I was pushed by my team to do that, and so I did it. I'm glad I did. I got a lot of new listeners and followers and made some good friends. I was on Merkel's show. I was on Bettina Moss. I was with Paul Sinclair. I was on Paranormal Expeditions. I was on what's the other one called? Oh gosh! And then with me and you and Ken and Lyle did the extra one too. That was a great show.
Yeah.
So I did a bunch of them. I did Jason Bland's, but I typically don't really accept to do a whole lot. So when someone asks me to go do the conference, I don't want to sound like some kind of prima donna and be like, nah, I don't want to do it. No, I turn down most of them, but I have been talking with Ken and you and Lyle, all of us, about doing a Cryptid conference and putting it together and sponsoring it through PRT, which would be no big deal just to get, because I know we would get several hundred people at least. Let me know, guys, in the comments section if you would go to a conference with me, Ken, Lyle, Barton, David Weatherly, pretty much all the usual suspects, and if you'd be willing to go, if you'd make the trip, because if people aren't going to make the trip, then it's not going to be, worth the time, These people are all very busy people, and Barton's got a business he runs, and so do I. So taking off is a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I've turned down every conference that I've ever been invited to come to, Josh. But
I know.
I'll tell you right now, I will come to yours and speak at yours if you put it together.
Yeah, and Vault said the same thing, and it was like he doesn't go out and do a whole lot of different stuff, and you're the same way. You're all very busy. You have businesses you run. And so and it takes a lot because Nick Redfern is an author who basically has to meet deadlines, and he goes from book to book to book. And he had said, "Yeah, have you made it? You did it. I would go." David said the same thing. So it would just have to be something that we say, "Hey, we're going to do it, and let's just get it done." I would love to get it done. I would even be willing to help people pay for the transportation to get them out there. I can't pay for all the listeners and everything, but like to get the guests to come out and speak, and everybody. And I know 100% Barton is. I've had a ton of people come to me and be like, "Hey, can you get Barton to do this and that?" And I'm like, "No, not really. Barton's his own guy. I can present it to him, and he can tell me I'm not going to do it." But I know that you are definitely in demand, and right now you need to write that book. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Josh. And like I say, it's you put it together, I'll come and speak for you.
Yeah. Well, don't do it for me. Do it for you. Do it for yourself. Do it for the people, because you have a lot of fans.
For the people, but I don't know. I'm just like you say, I don't make a living at this. I don't even make any money. On the money that I do make, I donate to people that need it. So it's not like I'm shooting around the country and trying to be in every conference like that somebody puts on. That's just not me. Yeah. But I would come speak for you.
Definitely interested in that, Barton. I'm going to let you go because I know you got to get up early, and I appreciate you and Letitia coming on and talking. And and it was
welcome.
Good. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so good night to all the listeners in the PRT family, and have a great new year. And thanks for all your support and well wishes.
Thank you, Barton.
You're welcome, brother.
And good night, Letitia.
She's already in bed, Josh. I'll tell her you said that.
All right, I will keep you guys in our prayers. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
So, good friend of mine, Barton Nunley, Ken Gerhard, good people, Letitia, Barton's wife. Yeah, Richards, yeah, that's true, but I don't want to, let's not talk about that right now. I'm not that to ignore that's happening, but that's just, let's try to focus on life right now. Titan, let me ask you a question. Do we have a location? I was thinking when me and Ken were trying to put it together a couple years ago, and Ken had done the footwork on it and said, "Hey, we found a place in it was Missouri," which I think the one that I agreed to do in the spring. I got to go back and look on my other Facebook. Getting banned for every little thing I say or do right now on that other account. I just was like, you know what, the heck with this. Now I got to start over, but hopefully it'll be up and running again. But yeah, we were talking about Missouri, and then we started talking, and we thought, what about Arkansas? About Falk, because Lyle had the Falk monster thing. And then I started talking with Redfern and Lyle about it, and I said, what about Fort Worth? I mean, Fort Worth, because, Fort Worth is way up in North Texas. You wouldn't have to go far into Texas to get there. And in Texas, it's smack dab in the middle of the country. It's, the southern middle of the country. And I thought maybe Oklahoma. Oklahoma would be a nice place to do a conference. I thought that would be cool. So I don't know. There's a lot of different options, a lot of different places that we might be able to check out and go. And I'm going to explore options in different places, and I'm going to try to get people to go and set it up. And now with this new strain ravaging everything, whatever. Hopefully that'll die down, and eventually we can get this going. I would like to have a location, if anybody can think of a good location that we could do it at. I think Texas would be a great spot, just North Texas. Of course, me and Ken lives at the gateway to the south, and I live in central Texas. We live about 90 miles from each other. We would be thrilled to have it down. We were joking about that. We'd be thrilled to have it down here. But I really think it'd be easier for people to get to if it was up in North Texas. And so that would be Fort Worth. That would be my choice. Plus, Fort Worth has a lot of cool stuff to do. I don't think it has as much going on as San Antonio, and Austin has a lot of really cool stuff too, depending on the time of the year. But like I said, I think Dallas Fort Worth would just be a much easier if we were going to do it in Texas. I would like to do one central, somewhere, more central. And then if that one works out, then we could always talk about doing another one in Fort Worth. Now, if anyone is interested in helping to finance or fund this, let me know. And I'm not talking about you have to give me $5,000, nothing like that. I'm just talking about enough to pay the people to get them there, to make it worth their time and energy and effort to get them to take off. Because, I wouldn't ask them to do it for free, although a lot of those people probably would do it because we're really good friends. We're close. But I wouldn't ask them to do that. I wouldn't ask Barton to take off work for free. That's ridiculous. I just wouldn't do that. These people all have, jobs and livelihoods, and they try to make a living. They would have to take off time from writing and doing all the things they do to go and do this. And so, yeah, Davy Jones Locker. Yeah, Las Vegas. I even thought about Arkansas, Texarkana maybe might be another one. Somebody said Arkansas, I don't know. But we'll see, if anybody wants to give me some locations or ideas, I'm open. Just let me know, and we'll try to plan it. I was thinking somewhere around April would be a good time. We could see what we got going on in April. But yeah, let's get some ideas here, and if anyone wants to throw in to help fund it, that would be ideal too. That way we don't have to just cover everything ourselves. But it would be an amazing thing, because I know that I could pull some pretty big names, some authors and some podcasters who would be willing to show up and talk. And there's a lot of researchers out there too who just love to go and do conferences. But it depends, because some researchers don't get along with other researchers, and then they don't want to talk with this, and then I don't need all that drama, I don't need all that. It's that people want to be a part of it, then they can be a part of it, and leave all the drama at home, because I know certain people won't go if other people are there, and Titan says, give us a target cost and we'll make it happen. Probably about 5 G's. I mean, just dead serious. You would have to rent the space for 2 or 3 days. Then you would have to at least pay the participants, a few $100s for the gas and the time and all that, But I think it would be an amazing thing. Ashley said you can get space in Chicago. Depends where we're at in Chicago, because a lot of people with Chicago's reputation for crime right now, a lot of people would be turned off by that. Chicago's cool. I stayed up there for a little bit one summer when I was a teenager, but I even boxed up there for a little while. But you just got to be real careful, because people are going to be like, well, Chicago's a lot of violence and this and that, and they may not be wanting to go do whatever, that is. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and if you guys, are willing to chip in and help it happen, help make it happen, that would be great. If anybody wants to help fund it, because I can tell you right now, I mean, we could even have like a certain tier, like if you donate a certain amount of money, we could like, you know what I mean? You donate like $100 to helping the conference to pay for it, then you would get like a certain, level or whatever. And then if your name we could put your name up there. And then if you're willing to donate $500, you could be a sponsor. Well, Ashley, you said your co-host is an engineer for Hilton. Yeah, get on it. I have a Hilton's reward card. I can tell you that. It's through American Express. I don't know if that helps, but whatever. And there's some really like I was thinking near Dallas, right there next to a place called Medieval Times. It's really cool. If you haven't been there, it's a really cool place. I've only been there once, but I really enjoyed it. They joust. I mean, they do some cool stuff. They hit each other with weapons. It's pretty cool, you know. But anyway, there is a hotel that's right there next to it. It's a very large, beautiful hotel that would be perfect for that. I mean, it's a very, very. It's right next door to the. I can't remember the name of it. It's a Hilton hotel, but it's right next door to the Medieval Times. And I was thinking that place would be an awesome place to do the conference. It'd be right there in Dallas. I just thought Fort Worth because there's a lot of cool stuff to do in Fort Worth besides the conference at night. Like you can go to the rodeo or something, or you can go to Billy Bob's. You know, some pretty cool stuff down there. Check out the stockyards. It's just an old rustic town with a lot of cool stuff. I love Fort Worth. But you know, it's whatever. So, folks, I do have one thing I wanted to talk about before we got off here. We were talking last show, and I had told you that we had a reptilian story, Bigfoot story, ghost story. So I was going to give you a ghost story. And this is before I get off the air. I'm going to tell you this. This was a story that was given to me. Now, I work out a lot. And there was a guy that I was working out with not too long ago. Well, I wasn't working out with him, but he works out around the same time I do. And we were in the gym, and we were talking, and he had told me, he goes, yeah, I had some weird stuff happen to me, you know, and it actually happened to him at a gym. And I thought that was interesting because I've had something weird happen to me at a gym. So, you know, when you work out all the time, you spend time in gyms and stuff, weird stuff happens. So I have an entire, how do you say it? I have a plethora of stories about haunted gyms. And so I started going back, and I said, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 5. I got enough to do a whole show on haunted gymnasiums, on haunted gyms. Like, I'm not joking. This one was a boxing gym that this particular person, it's no longer there. I know where it's at, but and I did do some time. I spent some time hitting the bags there and training a little bit. And there used to be a ghost or something, a resident entity that actually hung out in this particular gym. And I would like to get into a story about that. But first things first, this guy, he was a weightlifter. And he was telling me, you know, that there used to be a gym that he worked out at. And he went into the restroom. And he saw a female in the male's restroom. Now, this was like 10 years ago. And this actually happened up in Dallas. And he said, I go in there. And I was like, oh, I was kind of taken aback. You know, I was like, there's a female in here. And then she went into the shower area. And he thought, okay, there's people doing some. So he's holding a towel on himself. And he kind of goes around the corner. And the water's going. And he sees this female turned backwards facing the wall, and just the water was pouring on her, and he's all like, what the heck? So he thought, you know, I mean, if it was the other way around, it would have been a bigger deal. You know what I mean? It would have been a big deal. But he was just like, whatever, man. You know, this guy's a bodybuilder, you know. So he just went, you know, and you know, and they had a couple of them that had little pull curtains on the little shower things. He said this one was one of those that was just open, you know. So he got in there and he started showering, and he said he heard crying, like this person was crying. And this was a gym that was known for weightlifters, like, you know, people that were serious. And so he says, you know, he heard the crying, so he finished showering, and he looked, and he didn't see the woman there anymore. She wasn't there. So he grabbed his towel or whatever, and he began to dry off. And when he walked into the next room, which was where the lockers were, and then he said, you turn to the left, and right there's a mirror. But then behind it, there's an elongated mirror. And he says when he turned around, he looked in that mirror, he saw that woman standing in the mirror behind him. He could see it, you know. he goes, I turned around really quickly. He goes, and I was shaving at that point. I turned around, and I saw, or he said he was putting his shaving equipment up or something. He turned around, and he saw this woman, like for just briefly, like she was there, and then she was gone. So it really freaked him out, and he was like, what in the heck? And so he got his clothes together. He said there was one of the guys that was back in the corner that was putting on his shoes and getting ready to go into the floor. And he walked by, and he just said, this is going to sound weird, but did you see a woman? And the guy just says, no, I didn't see anything. So he went out, and he talked to the guy that was working, because this was a 24-hour place. He talked to the guy that was doing the swing, and the guy says, oh, okay. He goes, you've met our resident ghost. He goes, we don't have, we don't know who she is or what it is, but she wanders around all over the gym. And he said that one of the things that she scares the crap out of people, because she'll just appear in the mirrors behind people working out. That's a crazy story, right? He went there to that gym 2 or 3 months after that, 2 or 3 months before that, and never had any other incidents. It was just that one-time thing, never happened again. But what I'll tell you is there was a gym that I worked out in Bee Caves. That's south of Austin. Because my friend Bain, who was a strongman competitor, and I was helping train him at that time. And so I was going out there, and me and Bain were training together, and Bain told me, him and Bones was another friend of ours who worked out there. I know these are weird names, but these are my friends from back in the day, and they're the kind of guys they were. So Bain and Bones both trained out there. So me, Squid, Diablo, and Scorpion were going out there to train with them. It was a little bit of a hike, but, my buddies were all out there, and we could all work out together. And we had some weird stuff happen in those gyms. So I'm going to be doing an episode. I'm not going to talk about it right tonight. That pertains to that and some of the weird things that went on at that gym and at a couple other gyms that I worked out at, and a boxing gym that was really haunted. I'm pretty sure I know why. Guy got hurt there. He got a bleed. Went home, and he passed away. Didn't die at the gym, but pretty sure he died from the bleed. And I knew this guy. Well, anyway, one day I was in there hitting the bags. This is one of my personal experiences. It happened to me, and it happened to my friend Jason that was in there. Actually, it wasn't Jason. It was Virgil. It was this guy. He's a Creole, really tough guy, fighter. He was in my division. Corley, thank you for that donation. But while we were in there hitting the bags, we had some music playing, whatever, and over the music we heard what we thought was like a scream. And I stopped, and it was me and Verge, and I was like looking at him, he was looking at me, and I was like, I even had headphones in, and I was like, did you hear that? And the music was playing, and I had headphones in, and I still heard it. So he was all like, there was nobody in there but us. Coach Turner, who no relation to me, but Turner had left us the keys and said, here, go ahead and lock it up. And so I was like, okay. So I went to the front to make sure that Matt wasn't still there, and I told Virgil, I said, there's nobody in here but us. And so we walked all around the gym. We went around one side of the gym. We came back because it was kind of in two. There were like two. It was like a horseshoe almost. We come back, and I'm not joking. There were 6 bags of different designs, and they were all swinging like this, back and forth, back and forth. And this guy's a big guy. He was a heavyweight like me, and we fought, and he was a tough dude. We got the heck out of there, dude. Like, we just were like, okay. We'd heard that there was a ghost there, that there was a spirit, but we weren't 100% sure if that's what that was until we saw the bags like swinging back and forth. And there were a few other things that happened at that gym, not necessarily to me. I don't really remember too many things happen. Once or twice I thought I heard somebody one other time I thought I heard somebody arguing when I was in the bathroom, and I came out and there was nobody there, but I saw a bunch of people outside in the front talking, but they were just talking. We were all friends. Like me, Tony Duran, all those guys. We fought each other, but we were still friends. And I was just going like, I'm the only one in the building. That is weird. I heard like an argument, like a man and a woman arguing, but you couldn't make out the words, you know. So I talked to Matt, who was one of the trainers, coaches there, you know, was my coach. And he was just like, dude, I don't know what's going on here. Sometimes I'll be seeing things in the corner of my eye, you know. So we are going to be doing an episode, and it's going to be about hauntings at gyms. And some of the stuff gets creepy, dude. All right, I'm not gonna play with you, dude. There was some stories this guy gave me when out of Tallahassee, Florida, where something happened to him, you know. And then I'm gonna get into some flying humanoids. This guy in Philadelphia saw this thing on a balcony, thought it was a person crouched down, and turned it wasn't. It was a cryptid. So those stories, they're all gonna come out. On the podcast, on Friday podcast, we're going to talk about all this stuff. We're going to get into it. We're going to get all into that. I'm going to be recording with Vault. I'm going to try and make that happen probably tomorrow. And so that's going to happen. We're going to do a couple hours. Somebody had made a comment about how when I have somebody on my show that it goes for 2 episodes because I talk. That is how it works. Okay. I don't do interviews. So you can stop with the nonsense. I don't do interviews, dude. Okay, I do discussions, and I actually get complimented multiple times by the people who I interview because they don't want to have to sit there and talk themselves for 2 hours. It's like they appreciate that other people, you know, when they come on other people's show, they have to sit there and carry the show and just talk and talk. Whereas with me, they can have a discussion. I've been told that by just about everybody who's been on my show, you know, with the exception of maybe, you know, Mr. Pyrus and Mr. Dung, you know, because those guys, you know, in VC, you know, those are the guys that aren't going to, they don't like me. They're not going to like me. So whatever, who cares? But those aren't important people. You know, those are very petty, angry, and jealous people who nobody likes. So why should I care? If those were people that were really popular and everybody liked them, other than silly people who have, you know, that obviously I've seen their fans and they're kind of like you know, then I would feel like, oh man, I need to do something. You step up my game and start being nicer to these people. But I have no desire to, because those people they're useless. So, only been maybe 2 or 3 people have been on my show who I don't care for. Other than that, you know, most of the people that I've had on my show, or nearly all of them, I'm still good friends with. It's just what happens when I get on a show with somebody. They know how it works. We conversate. We go back and forth. Now, have I overtalked at times, and then I felt bad? Hey, this person, I should let them talk more, whatever. Yes. But these are also people who've been on my show multiple times, and they'll come back again. So I do still plan on having Kenny Irish come on. I got Albert Rosales gonna come on. I just gotta get the time to record with these people. It's nothing against. It's not their fault. It's mine. I'm just trying to get time to get it done. There's multiple people that need to come on and talk. I know that I was slated to go on to Tony Merkel's show on Christmas Eve, and I apologize to Tony and his fans and any co-fans we share, because me and Tony have a lot of the same fans. It's a very similar show. I couldn't make it. Christmas Eve was very hectic for me, and I had 2 Christmas engagements I had to go to, and I felt really, really bad about that. I did hear that he had a great show, and he was doing giveaways and stuff because people were pestering him because we do the giveaways here. Tony's a great guy. Can't say enough good things about him and Jason Bland, just Vault, all those guys, great colleagues. Truth, good guy. Chaos, Bass, those are good guys. Sean, they're all fellow podcasters. I was on a show with a bunch of them on New Year's Eve on Vault's show. And, yeah, so good guys. My friends at the NADP, D.A. Roberts, obviously super duper human being. Keith Van Elser, great guy. You know, Eugene Davis, I know he's not with them anymore, but he's still a good guy. Jody Cook, good friend of mine. I like Jody a lot. Nick Valente, just one of my greatest friends in this field. Those are great people, and I really enjoy dealing with those people and being a part of and being able to help them with their organization, help them grow it. I am not a member of that group because I don't want to appear biased, or anything like that. But they are good guys, and I do promote them. Ashley Hilt, obviously, she's on here. She's controversial. Some people don't like her. Some people do. She's my friend, and she's Nellie's friend. She's been very nice to me and Nellie. Ryan Tremblay, I do a lot of work with. We do a lot of stuff we're going to record pretty soon. Once again, it's the time for me. I just don't have time, folks. It's not Ryan or anybody else. It's me. And just getting the time to get it done. I still want to record with Chad Lewis and Steve Stockton. Great guys. Just can't say enough about all the good people that I've been blessed to know. And hopefully we will get all these stories out there. I gotta get on those Carolina books. I gotta finish them so I can get Weatherly to come back on. We talked, and I said, let me, finish reading these books, and I'll have you come on, and we'll do it. And so Weatherly he's going to come back on, and of course Blackburn, always a good friend of mine. These are the people that we're going to be dealing with in the new year. I'm going to have all these people. They're going to come, and we're going to talk. We're going to get it done. We just have to get the time. And for me, time is money, and I have a hard time I have to pull myself away from my job because I don't have the money. I have to make the money, and so I can't, and I lose, like tonight, I lose, about $400 or $500 just doing the show because me and Anthony should be out in the field working because we have some very high-end lucrative contracts right now, and we have to be on top of them. My wife is healing from her surgery. Thank you very much for the prayers. Please continue to pray because she is still in pain. And she's still trying to do things she's not supposed to be doing, like going to the H-E-B grocery store and carrying bags that are too heavy and trying to do that and do this. And it's just like, what are you doing? So I had to discipline her last night and tell her, look, I'm going to leave you here, teach you a lesson. All right, so I made her walk home from the H-E-B. It's only 5 miles, folks. Don't even feel bad, all right? It was raining a little bit and it was cold. That's how you teach people. Guarantee you she won't be lifting heavy bags anymore, all right? And once she's well, she can start racking my weights for me when I'm just kidding. She's going to kill me. I'm just kidding. Please, Nellie. She's small, but she runs the house, okay? Let me tell you right now, all right? She will get on me like you would not believe, okay? And I guess I need it, kind of, rein me in, right? But anyway, somebody reach out to Steve Stockton, just bombard him and tell him to hurry up and come on because, we had played tag back and forth, and me and Steve, and I felt really bad. I think that he had tried to work with me, and I was real busy. But y'all let him know that I'm definitely interested in working together. We got to get this done, dude. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got to run because I got to go pick up some groceries for the wife so she won't beat me. And remember, I'm going to put a post on Paranormal Round Table group, and it's going to say, hit me with your pictures in your PRT gear, okay? And one lucky winner is going to win something really, really cool. I might even pick 2 people. I don't know. We'll see what Anthony says. Anthony can make that decision. It just depends, guys. Okay, anyways, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for the donations. Everybody that donated, you were great. You helped actually take the sting out of, because I love coming here and doing this. But like I said, I have to pull myself away from my job and hire someone else to work it, and that's about $300 a pop for me and Anthony to be off work. That's a lot. So, yeah, we have to do that. Everybody from PRT, Paranormal Round Table, I love you guys. I really do. I love all of you people who come and find my new profile on Facebook so we can stay friends. Voltron, how you doing, brother? I see you on here. Everybody that's Beekeeper, Bear, you guys are the reason that we do this. You keep it going. Titan, thank you. Like I said, the conference would be epic. It will be a Paranormal Roundtable sponsored conference. It would be epic. And I did actually tentatively agree to do another conference with Charlie. We were told that we might go, and I think that conference, it's in the spring too, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think Lyle and Ken will be on that one. But everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for your help. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the prayers. Good night.